Victor Wembanyama is finally in the NBA. He was drafted in this year's NBA draft with the first overall pick by the San Antonio Spurs, and we all knew that was going to happen, right? It was just a matter of fact of which team he was going to land, and that was decided during the draft lottery night, and that was San Antonio, right? Given the hype that he's been able to build up all the way up into the draft lottery, it was no question that he was going to be the #1 pick of this year's NBA draft. Being 7'5", being able to handle the ball, shoot the ball to a certain extent, finish around the rim very well, have great post work, right? But just given all of that, right? Given all that hype, where do we see Victor Wembanyama's career heading towards? You know, how far is he going to go? Will he get an MVP? How many championships will he get if you think he's going to win any DPOYs, right? It's so much to fantasize about and so much to question. And he's in a great position, right? With the San Antonio Spurs and Greg Popovich. So we're going to go ahead and put this into practice with 2K, right? We're going to simulate through his career and we're going to see what he accomplishes. But right now, at this moment, I want you guys to comment down below, what do you think Victor Wembanyama career resume would look like in the next 10 years or by the end of his career? All right. So here he is. This is user created, but they have him here as an 86 overall, which everything looking pretty good aside from the 3-ball, which is expected. All right. He didn't shoot that well from the 3 in Europe last season. I think he shot about 27% from the perimeter, which is not bad for a 7'5" center, right? That's not that bad. At 7'5", many question if he's gonna have an injury-prone career. And again, we don't ever want to see anybody injured, but that is a question surrounding Victor Wembanyama. Now with season 1, I'm not expecting much. This is gonna be a fill-out year for Victor. You know, get familiar with the NBA. I am going to expect him to win Rookie of the Year. That's gonna be my expectation for him, is to win Rookie of the Year. That's it. I don't expect the San Antonio Spurs to make the playoffs. I don't think nobody expects the San Antonio Spurs to make the playoffs, but we do expect them to be a little bit better than last year's record, given the fact that they have Wemby now. So maybe a couple of more wins, around 5 to 10 more wins compared to last year's 22-60 record. I think it was 22-60. But I'm going to go ahead and continue simulating. I'm going to see you guys at the end of this season. All right, so Victor Wembanyama's first season is in the books, and here is your Rookie of the Year, Scoot Henderson. Scoot Henderson actually finishes with the Rookie of the Year award. Scoot Henderson, 18.1 points per game, 4.8 rebounds, 7.2 assists. That's huge. And the shooting numbers aren't that well, but it's not that bad for a rookie year. Victor Wembanyama did get injured. It wasn't nothing too severe. He had a broken nose and was out 4 to 6 weeks, and then a pinch back that probably made him miss like a couple games. That could have been the reason why Scoot Henderson got this award, because Victor Wembanyama had a phenomenal season as well too. Like, he had 17.3 points per game, 11.7 rebounds per game, and then 2.4 blocks per game. Shot 36% from the 3-point line, so he improved on the 3 compared to what he shot in Europe. Field goal percentage was about 48%. You like to see that higher given his height, but I'm sure he's taking a lot of shots from perimeter, so that's probably why he's shooting 48% from the field. He did finish in the All-NBA status. He was in the All-NBA third team. You see him right here, and All-NBA first defensive team. Your boy Victor Wembanyama is living up to the hype. And guys, he brought them to the play-in tournament. Not many, as I mentioned earlier, not many are expecting the Spurs to have a huge jump in their winnings compared to last season. You know, they expect to see that maybe 2 to 3 years into his career, right? Which is where they actually project him. They say in 3 years they expect him to be the best player on both ends of the court. So that's high projections for him. But so far, 17 and 11, 2.4 blocks. That's pretty good. And then you get the San Antonio Spurs to finish 7th in the play-in tournament, 40 wins after having 22 wins. That's an 18-win jump, 40 and 42. That's pretty huge, man. Hats off to him. I think we made one move. No, we made like 2 moves. So we did get rid of Devin Vassell for Jalen Duren. So we got Jalen Duren because I think this is what the Spurs are going to look to do in real life, is try to pair up Victor with another big body. So Victor is not really playing the 5. He's going to be floating around maybe as the 4. So he's not having a guard on defense those big centers like a Joel Embiid, Jokic, you know. So then that way he's not taking a lot of wear. So we got Jalen Duren for that. And then not only that, we made a deal as well for Rui and Lonnie Walker the 4th. So again, just looking to build around Victor Wembanyama, and so far so good. 40 and 42 in his first season in the play-in tournament against the Phoenix Suns. It's a huge game for Victor. Huge game for Victor. First game in a play-in tournament. First time the Spurs has seen such action in quite a few years. I think since DeMar was there. I don't think they made it to the playoffs with DeMar. You know, it's been a while, and they're back right now. So we're gonna actually simulate this with Simcast to see how he does in his first performance. This is a huge game against the Suns, who have I don't know if they made any deals. I sure looked at their roster before starting this, but they have tremendous big three in Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant. Obviously, from there, you know, it's a pretty top-heavy team. They also have DeAndre, and we can't forget about that. But from there, they lack depth in their team. But so far, Victor and company are showing out at home too. This is at home. Oh, there goes the Suns showing that experience. If we lose this game, you actually get another chance in the playing tournament, which is good. But you know, if we lose the playing tournament, it's still a huge accomplishment for the San Antonio Spurs and Victor Wembanyama to be able to make it this far in your first year, and given the circumstances, it's huge. So looks like we got a close game. We're actually gonna jump in and get some action with Victor Wembanyama. It's just tough. Let's look at the box score real quick before we jump in. You got Victor Wembanyama with 25 and 7, shooting 10 of 16 from the field in his first playing game, a huge game for his legacy. Look at everybody else following up behind Victor Wembanyama. That's huge. And then if we look at the Suns, you got DeAndre Ayton with 29. Damn, he's going at my boy Victor. Booker with 27, KD with 21, Bradley Beal just not getting enough touches. All right, Rui with the ball, man. He drives in. Oh, he could have got that. That was a cut down the lead to 1, but he didn't have any success with that finish. Campaign is on the court with D-Book. That's a huge streak by D-Book. They missed though. Damn. DeAndre Ayton is doing his thing right now. He has 31. So again, this is a young team in the Spurs. You got your most experience coming from Rui right there, and he's trying to will his team to a W. I'm sorry, I had a little pause right there. But D-Book right here bringing up the ball. Oh my God, it's terrible defense. I don't know why Rui's helping there, but oh my God, look at Victor just getting up there for that ball, and he's bringing up the ball. This is what we'll be accustomed to seeing with Victor Wembanyama, being able to handle the ball. This would be a huge legacy game. Yo, Rui is taking over though. Like, Rui is snapping right now. Rui is taking over right now down the stretch. It's not so much Wemby that's showing out. He has the most points. He has 26 and I think 10. But oh, what a shot by Devin Booker. What a shot by Devin Booker. He has 12 in the fourth. That's tough. Devontae Graham right now. Look like they're going to try to get it to, yep, back to Rui. They can't stop him in the post. That man is snapping. Yo. Did they say that's his 20th assist? Devontae Graham has 20 assists? No way. I don't know if I heard that correctly, but you got to watch that P&R. Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. Yeah, it looks like he's just struggling to get it stopped. I think Devontae Graham fouled out, if I'm not mistaken. I know he didn't. They subbed out Victor. That makes no sense. I'm about to jump back into subbing Vic. All right, there we go. I just have to manually put in Victor Wembanyama. There's no way you're going to sit him down. You know, like, that makes no sense. I hate when 2K does stupid stuff like that. Look at Bradley Beal in the Suns uniform, Suns jersey right there, guarding. Who's that? Keldon Johnson. Yep. That's a finish. That's a finish for Keldon Johnson right there. We have a lot of offensive power right here with the Spurs. It's a lot. Like, it's so much you could do with this team. Like, as this the future, you know, given that Wemby lives up to the expectations, stays healthy, the future is bright. Oh wow, what a big shot by DeAndre. DeAndre Ayton is just, he's showing up. He's showing up right now. He is showing up. Let's see what we do. Oh, Victor Wembanyama with a big-time three. A big-time triple right there. Victor Wembanyama, he's showing out. He is showing out. He's living up to the hype, man. Big-time three to cut down the game to 143 to 142. Look at those numbers, too. 143 to 142 is crazy. And 9 seconds left. There's a lot of offense. Not much defense going on, but they're going to need a stop right here. I mean, they're going to have to foul, play the free throw game. And then they're going to have to go for three. They're going to have to go for a three. Unless they get a miss. Let's see what Bradley Beal does. Nah, he got the first one. Let's see what he does. Could he miss one? Nah, he gets both of them. There's no timeout, so let's see what they could get. They don't have to chuck up a bad look. Oh, he could have got a better look. Well, that's it for it. Oh, you don't gotta do that foul. Come on, man. Alright, so that's it. The Suns going to win that game. Was a huge game for Victor Wembanyama. Huge career game. First playing tournament game, and he went crazy. If we look at the box score, again, he lost, but 28 points, 8 rebounds. Devontae Graham was 20, so it's crazy. But again, this is Victor's show. Shot 11 of 17 from the field and a huge 3 to cut down the lead to 1 in the final 10 seconds of the game. That's huge for Victor. It's unfortunate that it ended in a loss, but he still has another chance to make into the playoffs. And so they're matched up against the Utah Jazz. We're going to go ahead and simulate right through this game. No simcast. And they make it into the playoffs. Victor Wembanyama wills his team into a playoff appearance in quite a few years. It's probably been around 5 years, a 5-year playoff drought, which San Antonio is not used to, given the fact that they had that dynasty team, started with David Robinson, TD, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili. And then Kawhi came in. And then now you got Victor Wembanyama bringing his team back to a winning atmosphere and playoff atmosphere. Obviously, they're matched up against the Los Angeles Lakers, who are the first seed. So let's see who the Lakers have on their roster. So the Lakers have their usual team. AD is out for the season. I don't want to laugh. I don't want to see him. Listen, I'm just laughing because 2K has him hurt. It's like he can't even get a break in the game, which he had actually been pretty healthy, in the last half of the season and the playoffs this past year. So that's pretty good for him. Hats off to him. But he's out for the season. We never want to see anybody injured. So, we hope he gets better even in 2K. But they have their usual roster, really. They have Robert Covington, who they added on probably through a trade. And then they have Zach Collins, who we dealed over there in that deal that included Rui Hachimura and Lonnie Walker the fourth. I'm curious to see what they're going to do without AD. I think we have an opportunity to beat them. So we're just going to go ahead and simulate the rest of the play-in and see what happens here. All right, game 1 goes to us. Okay, game 1 goes to us. It's like what I said. I think we could beat them, just given the fact they don't have AD. We have a lot of firepower. Lonnie Walker, the fourth, twisted left knee. Lakers up 2-1. What is this, a migraine? Series tied. Okay, so far putting up a good fight. Let's see. Phoenix swept New Orleans. It's crazy. So they struggled in the play-in tournament, but then, made it through. San Antonio's up 3-2. Let's see, closeout game for the Spurs. What happens? They advance. The Spurs pull off the upset. They advance. The Spurs advance. Victor Wembanyama goes on to knock out the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron James. Obviously, he played without Anthony Davis, but that's huge in his first year, rookie year. Let's just quickly look through his stats throughout these games. I'm just very curious to see. He didn't do that well in game 1. Game 2, 21-5. That's good. Game 3, only 12 points. He struggled in game 3, which they actually lost, so that makes sense. Game 4, they won 18 points, but Jalen Duren led the way. Game 5, Victor Wembanyama 18 points. So again, he's not being too dominant, but he's doing enough to will his team to the W and others around him too. It's not just him. And through the first round, this is what Victor Wembanyama is averaging: 18 points per game, 8 rebounds a game. So the rebound numbers dropped a little bit, but his points per game have gone up a bit, and the field goal percentage gone up. 3-point percentage is actually worse than what it was in the regular season. So hopefully he gets that going, as things are going to become a little bit more tougher in the second round, which nobody expected him to be in the second round. Again, nobody expected him to be in a play-in tournament. Nobody expected him to be in the playoffs in his first year. He's doing his thing. So he's going to go ahead and match up against the Grizzlies. All right, so we're going to simulate this round. We're going to simulate it straight through because we got to go through his whole career. So we got to pick up the pace. So let's go ahead and simulate the round. All right, so they actually get swept. Victor makes it to the second round in his first year, ends up getting swept by the Memphis Grizzlies. Again, that's not bad. That's not bad, just given the fact that nobody had him going into the playoffs, not even the play-in tournament, and he made it all the way into the second round. That's pretty good for his first year. So far, he's living up to that expectation, exceeding expectations so far. The numbers weren't astronomical in the playoffs, but it's his first year in the playoffs. He's going to get better. It's expected. And there is your champions. Yes, 2K always has them crowned as the NBA champions, the Atlanta Hawks. I don't know what they have for the Atlanta Hawks, but they got a thing for them. We're going to go ahead and advance to the offseason. As Victor enters his second year, Chris Paul, Dwight, and Carmelo are all being inducted into the Hall of Fame, as they are all retired now. All right, so we're going into year 2. Victor Wembanyama is entering as a 90 overall. 3 is getting slightly better. And quickly, just take a look at some of the pieces that we were able to add through free agency. We signed Fred VanVleet. You also signed Bruce Brown and also Joe Ingles. You know, we got some defense, perimeter, playmaking throughout those signings. So those are great additions to the roster, you know, that got us to the second round. So we expect to now be a playoff team. I don't know if we expect to be contender in Victor Wembanyama's second year, but we expect them to at least make the playoffs and not be in a play-in tournament. All right, so the second season is in the books, and in year 2, sophomore year for Victor Wembanyama, he goes ahead and wins the Defensive Player of the Year. You see the numbers right there. The points per game numbers went up. Rebounds also went up slightly. 21 points per game, 13.9 rebounds per game. Assist numbers still around 2. Blocks was around the same thing, but again, he had more of an impact this time around this year. Shooting numbers went up from the perimeter. 37% from the field is tremendous. It's pretty good for a second year, and again, at his height, 47% from the field. Not the best. You know, he's still working on that, but this is great. Victor Wembanyama, Defensive Player of the Year in year 2 of his career. Let's go. Also, he makes a jump to the All-NBA second team. First year as a rookie, he was All-NBA third team. Year 2, he's All-NBA second team. He's again All-Defensive first team as well too. That's 2 All-Defensive first team awards for him. So he's doing his thing. This boy is snapping. He's snapping. But we're in the play-in tournament once again. We finished with the same record, 40-42, but we're in the back end of the play-in tournament this time around. And the thing was that the team struggled to remain healthy, and Keldon Johnson, who's a huge part of our offense, was actually out for a large amount of time. He missed the whole second half of the season with a lower right leg stress fracture. So he was injured in January 28th, then come back till April 4th. So he's back now though. So hopefully we should be able to advance. My hopes are high to advance to the playoffs. Let's go ahead and simulate the play-in tournament, or simulate the first round. Let's see. Oh, we actually get eliminated in the play-in tournament. All right, so year 2, we don't get as far as we did in the first year, but Victor won Defensive Player of the Year. So again, it's still another successful year. We did expect to make it to the playoffs given the acquisitions we got, but it's tough. You got the Hawks looking to repeat. The Hawks are looking to repeat. LeBron looking to take on his 5th NBA championship, and he does that exactly. I'm sure he's probably going to retire after this, but year 3 incoming for Victor. Let's go ahead and get it. As Victor is entering his 3rd year, Greg Popovich goes on to retire. That's tough for him, but we'll look to replace him with another good coach that will continue Victor's development. All right, so entering year 3, Victor is still a 90 overall. He doesn't take a jump in his overall, but certain things do improve, as you can see. We did add on Emmanuel quickly to our roster this offseason, so hopefully he'll help with the bench production. We had a couple rookie signings as well too, but nothing drastic from there. I quickly want to show you guys Victor's resume entering his 3rd year. So keep in mind, he's only played 2 years so far. You see it, years pro. He's only 21 years old, and he's already been an all-star. He's been in 2nd team All-NBA, 3rd team All-NBA, Defensive Player of the Year last year, and he's been in the All-Defense first team twice. And obviously he didn't get the one Rookie of the Year because Scoot Henderson beat him in that. But so far, he's playing well, playing amazing. All right, so season 3 for Victor is in the books. The regular season, that is. It wasn't that good of a season. The chemistry seemed to not be there with the roster, so I had to make a couple changes in terms of Fred and Keldon Johnson. They just weren't living up to the expectations that we had hoped for them and what we signed them for when we signed those extensions with Keldon and signed Fred. So Victor kind of struggled in the midst of all of that, and he ended up only getting an All-Defensive second team award. It's a setback. His numbers weren't that good this season. He dropped. He went from, 17, 21 to 15. Still averaged a double-double, but the blocks per game dropped and the efficiency dropped as well. So, things weren't going well. We also lost Greg Pop, if you guys remember too. He retired. So, it just seemed to be a rocky season for him, and we don't make the playoffs. But we were able to trade away Fred and Keldon for Tyrese Halliburton and Miles Bridges to Indiana. So I think Tyrese Halliburton is going to be a great fit with Victor moving forward in terms of him not being as aggressive offensively. We're looking for like a lot of offensive opportunities and rather looking to get his teammates involved. So him and Victor will work well in terms of PNR action or pick and pop, whatever it is. It's going to work well along with Jalen Durbin and others as well too. So we're looking forward to seeing that in the future. Miles Bridges will be a free agent, so we'll see what we'll do with him. All right, so there you have it. Here are your champions in year 3 for Victor Wembanyama. The Cavaliers, they go on to win the chip. Darius Garland gets the Finals MVP right there. Here are the Hall of Fame inductees as Wemby is entering year 4. LeBron James being inducted into the Hall of Fame along with Russell Westbrook as well. All right, so entering year 4 for Victor Wembanyama. He's still 90 overall. Hasn't peaked from there in 2 years. We were able to add on OG Anunoby, so we didn't bring back Miles Bridges, but we did sign OG Anunoby, which will be a great fit for this team. team with Tyrese Halliburton and company. And then we also signed Caleb Martin as well. All right, so regular season number 4 for Victor is in the books. He's back to being all defensive first team, but that's the only award he gets so far for this season. This was ultimately a better season compared to last season. Back in the play-in tournament, still haven't been able to solidify a legitimate playoff position, which many would argue with the roster we have this season, we should have been in the playoffs, and we were close. We were at 6th seed. That was the highest we ever got to, but Wemby's overall has dropped a bit. He's a little frustrated with the team. He doesn't seem to want to be here given the circumstances, given the fact that Pop isn't on the team anymore, and the changes that has occurred. But we've built up a tremendous roster surrounded him. So I made a couple trades throughout this season. Jaden Ivey is now on the roster, as you can see, and also Klay Thompson is on the roster as well. But those are like the 2 huge additions. If we look at the numbers, they weren't that good again for him. They were a little better, but they weren't that good. So here they are. You see, he peaked in his sophomore year with 21 points per game, but the numbers have dropped significantly since then. And he's been pretty healthy. He's played quite a few games, and it just seems like, you know, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. It seems like he doesn't want to be in San Antonio anymore. So we're gonna see what happens. Victor might end up leaving, might end up going to another team, but the ball is in San Antonio's court right now because I believe they have a team option. They should have a team option to be able to hold him down. All right, so San Antonio is back in the playoffs after winning the first game of the play-in tournament. They just needed 1 win to advance, given the fact that they were in the top string of it, and they did. They won against Minnesota, and now they are matched up against the Houston Rockets. So it's a battle of Texas in the first round. Let's go ahead and look at the Rockets roster to see who they have. It's Jalen Green, Alfred Sengun, Jabari Smith Jr. Wow, it's the usual team with their new young cats with Cam Whitmore. It doesn't look like they have Amen Thompson anymore. They probably deal them away, but they have the usual cats plus D'Lo, and it seems like they've developed. They're better now. Jalen Green at 94 overall, Alfred Sengun 87, and Jabari Smith Jr. 86. So it's gonna be tough. It ain't gonna be easy. So let's go ahead and see what Victor and company can do. Last time around, they peaked in the second round and lost to the Los Angeles Lakers. So let's see what happens this time around with the Rockets. And by the way, this is Victor's numbers for that playing game that the Spurs won. Not looking too good for Victor. 27 minutes, 2 points, 1 of 9 from the field. You know, we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt again and say he just struggled, but he did well in terms of rebounding, but that's about it. That's all you can say. He did well that game. All right, so after game 1, Houston wins it. Game 2, let's see. We tie up the series. All right, game 3 back in San Antonio goes our way. Game 4, series tie. Game 5, San Antonio wins. All right, let's go. Let's see if we can close out the series. Game 6. Oh, nope, we got a game 7. So we're going to simcast this. Again, these are the legacy games that Victor is going to have to, you know, show out. You know, he had won a huge game before in the play-in tournament. You know, that was one of his huge legacy games, even though he lost against the Suns, the one that we were able to simulate and watch. He played huge. But let's see what happens here. You know, this is a game 7 to potentially advance to the second round, which is, you know, the farthest he has been with the Spurs. And this is his second time in the playoffs. Let's see if he can manage to get back to the second round and make it a 2-for-2 thing, you know, so far in his career. So it's a back and forth game so far. We're in the third quarter. We seem to be kind of pulling away now, heading into the fourth, you know, up by 10. So it looks like we're pulling away with it. Yeah. Looks like we're going to go ahead and get this W. Oh, it's a close game. 113 to 110. We'll give it a couple. Yep. Oh, no, we pull away with it. We pull away. Oh, no, it's a close game. 1-point game with 35 seconds left. I thought we were going to pull away. It was like 118, 111. We're going to go ahead and jump in right now. Quickly check the box score, too. We didn't look at the box score. My apologies. Victor's having a better game. Better game compared to that first play-in tournament he put up. You know, he's here 19 points, 13 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 9 of 12 from the field. Very efficient game. Look at everybody else's numbers. Tyrese is doing what we brought him here for, which is dish, dime. But everybody's doing good. We're doing well. First free throw is good. This is a game 7 on the road. Both free throws are good. That's huge right there. It's a 3-point game, 120 to 117 with 30 seconds left. Jalen Green looking to do whatever he can to tie this game up and potentially win this game and advance to the second round. Jabari Smith Jr. Midi is no good, and that's a huge time rebound by Wemby. Looks like we're going to win this game. We just got to go ahead and seal off these free throws. Tyrese Halliburton. It's good. Let's see if he gets the second one. Money. That's a huge rebound, huge stop, huge free throws by the Spurs. All right, here we go. D'Lo gets to the Jalen Green. Jalen Green gets it. Oh, he's trying to force his way into the paint. It's not looking too good. He's forcing it. He is forcing it. Alfred Sengun for 3. He's hurt. No good. That's going to do it right there. The San Antonio Spurs are going to go ahead and advance to the second round. Victor Wembanyama, 2 for 2. Every time he makes it to the playoffs, he makes it to the semifinals. So that's pretty good. That's good. So these are his finishing numbers: 19, 15, and 3, 9 to 12 from the field, and 1-on-1 from 3. Pretty good. So let's go ahead and see who the opponent is going to be for the second round. I think these are going to be his best chances to make it into the conference finals this year. You're going to play the number 6 seed in the Portland Trail Blazers, who I think they have a squad from what I've seen earlier. I think they have School Henderson, of course. They still got Dame, and they got, they used to have DeAndre, and it looks like they got rid of him. No, he's hurt, but he's only hurt day to day, so he's probably going to be available. He should be available. They still got Shaden Sharp, who's developed. They still got Nurkic too. They got a squad. They got Bronny. They got Bronny on their team. I'm not gonna lie, they low-key got a squad. Jaden McDaniels as well too. Jeremy Grant still. Nah, they've got a squad. I can't lie. So it's gonna be a tough one. It's not gonna be easy, but he's been able to, make it this far. Lost in his first season when he made it to the second round against the Grizzlies. Let's go ahead and see what he can do this time around. Game 1 and the road, they win it. Game 2 goes to Portland, so they steal home court advantage. See what happens. Game 3, Portland wins game 3. Game 4, series tie. Game 5. Oh wow, that's a huge loss. Jaden Ivey pinching her back. That's a huge loss. They might go ahead and lose this series right there. Facing elimination, we'll do Simcast again. This is a legacy game, so let's see. Can Victor will his team to a victory and force a game 7? This is at home too. They're home, so far got a huge lead throughout the first 2 quarters. They gotta just hold it down. Looks like they're doing that thus far. Portland kind of rallies back as they get through the third quarter, and Portland's having a huge third quarter, but San Antonio is pulling away to a certain extent. They're like pulling away, but Portland's coming back into it, and you see right there, Portland takes the lead in the fourth quarter, and they're pulling away now. They're pulling away, and it looks like they might end off this series right here. Looks like they might end off this series in 6. Yep, the series is gonna go ahead and end in 6. The San Antonio Spurs has been eliminated, and it's a tough one because then you can ask, like, if they would have had Jaden Ivey, could the series have went a different way? It could have, but year 4 is gonna end with a second round loss. Like, 2 times he's been to the playoffs. It's only his 4th year, so it's still early. He's only 22. He hasn't been able to advance past the second round, and he hasn't been able to lock in a playoff berth without the playing tournament. So another thing to know. Go ahead and simulate the rest of the playoffs. Wow, the Trailblazers make it to the NBA Finals against the Hornets, but the Hornets go on to win the chip. LaMelo wins the championship, Finals MVP with the Charlotte Hornets. Here were Victor's numbers throughout the playoffs: 16 and 11, 49% from the field, 34% from the 3. That's not bad. We would want to see his numbers in the 20 mark. We want him to be maybe averaging around at least like 21, not 21, like 23. 23 and 11 will be dope. That's what we need to see. He has yet to take that mark after his second year. Second year, he did it. He averaged 21. After year 4, this is what Victor's resume is looking like. The awards have kind of slowed. Not that they've slowed down, but he seemed to have had more success at the beginning of his career. Things have kind of declined, but he's a 3-time all defensive first team. He got second team 1 time, and that was in his 3rd season. DPOY his 2nd season, a 2-time all-star, and then he hasn't been able to make the all-NBA team since his 2nd year. So starting to have some questions. It's only year 5 that he's about to enter, but still questions surrounding his success so far. All right, so entering year 5, Victor's overall has went up to a 91. We are looking to take a huge leap this year. All right, so the Spurs had their best season so far with Victor Wembanyama. They finished 48 and 34 in his 5th season. They finished with the 4th seed. That's pretty good. And if we go ahead and take a look at his stats, they are continuing to decline to a certain extent. The field goal percentage, decent. Again, not as good as where it should be. 3-point percentage is not as bad. It's still around the 14 points per game. 10.5 rebounds. Again, the blocks are declining. He doesn't want to be in San Antonio. We have one more team option with him, so I think after this, if we might see him leave San Antonio. He's not happy with San Antonio, especially given the fact that, Greg is not here no more. So hopefully he can deliver a championship. I don't think it will be fully his efforts. It'll be along with everyone else, but so far he's not living up to the hype so far. The first 2 years were good, but since then his numbers has declined. He hasn't made it past the second round. Made it to the second round twice, playoffs twice. So 2 for 2 and making it to the second round each time he's made it to the playoffs. Let's see what he does this time around. After game 1, down 1-0, down 2-0, losing both games at home. Wins game 3, ties up the series. Let's see game 5. They go up. Game 6. They lose. So game 7, second game 7 that he's had back-to-back years. Let's see what he does. Finishing off in the first quarter up by double digits. Second quarter up by around, oh no, lead is, oh, they're closing in on the lead. I was going to say up by 10, but no, they're closing in on the lead. But they're able to pull away as they enter the third quarter. In the second half, they are currently up by almost 20. So as they're progressing through, they're currently up by about 10 points, 9 now. It's bouncing back and forth, but the Pelicans, they make it a tight game as we get here in the fourth quarter, and it's close. It's close. As we are closing out the quarter, it is close. We're about to jump in as we get a little closer because the Pelicans are pulling away. There's no point of us jumping in, actually. Yep, there's no point of us jumping in. The San Antonio Spurs were eliminated. That's tough, man. You go up 3-2. You lose the last 2 games and you lost the first 2 games. Again, once again, a disappointment. This is the first time they actually had a winning season. A great record. What was it? 48-34. You know, you lock in the 4th spot, first playoff berth they locked in without having to go through the play-in tournament, and you come up short in the first round to the New Orleans Pelicans. That's tough. That's tough. Victor Wembanyama's career so far through 5 years has not been very promising, but again, it's only 5 years. Some players, they don't win their first championship until the year 28, until they're 28 years old, 26, 27. Victor is currently 24, and the Hornets are looking to repeat, and they do. LaMelo with 2 championships. He wins the championship in year 4 for Victor's career so far. And throughout the playoffs, this was Victor's numbers. They jumped up a bit, similar to what he did last year. Went from 14 to 16. You know, 3 was terrible. The whole team almost shot terrible from the 3. So he's not looking too good. We have 1 more year that we're safe with Victor. If he doesn't want to resign after this year, he might walk somewhere else. As Victor enters year 6, here are the Hall of Fame inductees: James Harden, Damian Lillard, and Kawhi Leonard. Alright, so I was incorrect. I thought we had an extra year left in the team option with Victor Wembanyama, but we didn't, and I tried to fight to re-sign him, but clearly, like I had said, he was frustrated with the team and he did not want to re-sign. He accepted. We offer him a tremendous amount of money similar to his contract that you see he accepted with the Golden State Warriors. We're gonna go ahead and follow him there, but I want you guys to comment down below. Do you see Victor potentially leaving San Antonio to go play somewhere else later on in his career? You know, in a similar scenario, if things weren't panning out the way he had planned, you know, entering year 6 and Greg Popovich was no longer there, do you think he will end up leaving for another team? If so, what team? Comment that down below. Alright, so entering year 6, Victor is still a 91, but his playmaking and 3-pointer is going up, taking a huge jump to the B category. And you see who he's paired up with. He came to Golden State to pair up with Scoot Henderson. Him and Scoot both came and signed here as Steph has gone out, along with Jaren Jackson Jr. and Trey Murphy. You see the rest of the roster, how it's shaped up around them. A lot of 3-point shooting, but your big 3 right there: Scoot Henderson, Victor, and Jaren Jackson Jr. That's tough. That's tough right there. So we're gonna see how that pans out. Scoot Henderson has made it to the finals before, so he did come up short against the Charlotte Hornets, B. Miller and company. So you know, his rookie class in terms of B. Miller, Scoot Henderson, and Victor, of course, turned out to be a good one. All right, so year 6 with the 2023 team up. That's what we're gonna call it. You know, these two pulled off a LeBron James and D Wade team up. Victor Wembanyama, he wins DPOY. He wins DPOY in year 6, and you see the numbers. After struggling, not really struggling in San Antonio, he was putting up a front because he comes here and starts averaging 22, 13 and a half, and it's probably a better fit, and then he's probably just more happy. So far, he's not looking like a bust anymore. He was looking like a bust to a certain extent, and now he's looking better. Now he's looking like that #1 pick. And Scoot Henderson, my God, 31 points per game, MVP. I know this is Victor's show, but just had to show that. So MVP and DPOY for those two. All NBA second team. You see Victor Wembanyama right there. So it's a huge bounce back, and of course he had to have been in the all defensive first team, you know, given that he got second DPOY award. So as we move on into the playoffs, they were able to lock in the 5th seed. All right, so if we go ahead and look at the NBA standing, they finished 44-38. So back-to-back winning seasons for Victor. Obviously last year was with San Antonio. So let's go ahead and simulate the play-in tournament. Simulate game 1 of the playoffs. They lose to the Mavs. They tie it up in game 2. Game 3 goes to the Mavs. Who does the Mavs even have? Let's check that to start off. I didn't even check that. They got Kyrie, John Collins. They got a rookie on here that's snapping. They got Mojave King. They're a pretty young team. Aside from having Kyrie, who's not extremely old, but extremely old in basketball age. And we're down 3-1. Let's see what happens. You come back. Oh, Victor Wembanyama out for 1 or 2 weeks. That might be it for them. Game 7 here, but that might be it for them. We're not even going to jump in because Victor is not even going to play. Let's see. Yep, the Golden State Warriors were eliminated. So first year in Victor's new team, and they get eliminated in the first round. So far, 2 back-to-back first round exits. Victor did get hurt. Look at the Wizards winning on the chip. That's crazy. D-Book on the Wizards gets his first ring. It's crazy. So Victor was hurt. That is something to take into consider. He was hurt. So he didn't get to finish off that series. What would have happened if he would have been healthy? Maybe they go on to the second round. Who knows? As Victor enters year 7 of his career, this is what, 2028, 2029. Here are the Hall of Fame inductees: Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Paul George, Jimmy Butler. All right, so we're entering year 7 for Victor, and Victor is still a 91 overall, and he pretty much has the same team entering year 7 that he played with last year. The huge thing was that he just got hurt in the playoffs, so that's, you know, we're crediting that to him coming up short in the playoffs, is that injury he had in the first round. So hopefully he can stay healthy throughout this whole season and, you know, make a push and get deep into his first conference finals appearance and maybe finals appearance, and hopefully win his first chip. All right, so these two are back at it. So Victor's numbers dropped a bit in terms of his points per game. He did get significant injury this year, but he has his 3rd DPOY award, and he seems to be shaping out to be more of a outstanding defender than he is an offensive player. And some people speculate that too, that he can, you know, be a terrific defender and not so much an offensive player. But yes, these two are back at it. You see Scoot Henderson also with the MVP award for back-to-back years. That's crazy. Again, this is Victor's 3rd DPOY because he did get one while he was in San Antonio. So year 7, he gets that DPOY. All-NBA 2nd team, he gets it again for back-to-back years. All-defensive 1st team again. They were able to lock in the 3rd seed. So last season they were the 4th seed. This year they are a seed above. If you look at the standings, they finished with 50 wins. 50-32 was their record, and this is Victor's first 50-win season. You know, they're getting better. He's getting better, more experience. This is year 7 as a pro, so he's getting better. So let's go ahead and see, you know, how he plays against the Mavericks. I think this is the same team they played against last year, right? When they lost to them in 7 games. Go ahead and just take a look at their roster. So it's a similar roster to last year. They just have Zion Williamson this time around. James Wiseman. It's not really similar, I'm lying. And they got Devin Vassell instead of Kyrie Irving already. But let's go ahead. It's going to be a huge matchup. You know, you got Zion Williamson and company against Victor. Game 1 goes to Golden State. Game 2 goes to Dallas. Game 3 goes to Dallas. And they're up 3-1 once again. See the numbers. Victor is just struggling throughout these playoffs, I think. Yeah, look at 16.8. He's not that, oh my god, 39.2 for school is crazy. But he seems like he's not that guy offensively. That's what 2K is showing us, and that's what we're seeing so far in his career. I don't think expecting huge numbers from him offensively is something we should continue to expect. Like, look, they get knocked out once again in the first round. This time it was in 5 games. That's tough. He gets knocked out by the Dallas Mavericks. That's tough, man. Victor's gonna be entering year 8 with never being able to make it past the second round. Haven't seen a conference finals appearance yet. And I get it. It's only year 8. He's only, what, 26, 27 years old right now? So, Houston Rockets win a championship. Jalen Green wins his first chip at the age of 27. You got somebody there doing it. And so, this is Victor's resume so far through 7 years in the NBA. It's, we're about to approach, I think, the 2029 season. Oh, no, we're about to approach the 2029, 2030 season. It's crazy. This is his resume. It's pretty good. This is pretty good. This is a Hall of Fame player at this point. I'm not going to lie. He's a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, 2 back-to-back. 5-time All-Star, you know, 3-time second team All-NBA, first-time All-Defense team. He did that 5 times already, so this is a pretty good resume. He just hasn't had success in the playoffs. You know, kind of like a Joel Embiid. You know, but again, he's still young, so we'll look to see that. But I think something that 2K is showing us, which is maybe something that can happen in real life, is, you know, not to expect much from him offensively, but more defensively. You know what I'm saying? And it's not to not expect much. He's averaging around 16 to 21 points per game. That's pretty decent, but not an explosive amount like 25 plus. All right, so as we enter year 8 for Victor, he is still a 91 overall and still has the same team basically around him. So let's go ahead and see what Victor could do in year 8 at the age of 26, man. He's still young, still young. All right, so Victor didn't get any awards this season because he suffered an injury that kept him on for the majority of the season. But once he came back, they were able to string a good amount of wins and hold on the 4th seed. I think they finished with 1 more win than they got last season, which is pretty pretty good. So again, this is where, you know, Victor has to take that next step. He's had some regular season success, you know, has a lot of awards, regular season awards. It's time that he has some success in the postseason. He went to the second round twice with San Antonio. So the question is, will he be able to do that here with a better team? He hasn't been able to make it out this first round. And ultimately, he has a better running mate in Scoot Henderson, who's a 3-time MVP right now. Back-to-back, actually. He's won them back-to-back. So let's see. Game 1 goes to the Clippers. And who do the Clippers have? Let's go ahead and take a look at their roster real quick. The Clippers have Jaylen Brown, Jonathan Kuminga. Wow, 89 overall is crazy. AJ Griffin, Kenya Martin Jr., Trey Mann, PJ Washington, Jericho Sims, and a couple other young cats. Oh, I simulated the round by mistake. I had to cancel it right there. Almost baited right there. But you see it. Victor finally makes it to the second round with Golden State. That's huge. Just go ahead and just take a look at the numbers that he averaged throughout that first round. Scoot is wildin'. But he only averaged 14, 12.6 rebounds a game. The blocks, 2.8 blocks per game. And again, he struggled from the field. He is coming back from an injury, so we do got to be patient with him there. Shot well from the three-pointer. Again, we're starting to see that Victor is not so much, at least in 2K, not so much of an offensive threat compared to what he is on the defensive side here. You know, but it's working out well with this roster. All right, second round against the defending champs, the Houston Rockets. Let's go ahead and see what can they do. Game 1 goes to the Houston Rockets. Game 2, oh man, Dalen Childress, who's the rookie of the year, gets it. He's hurt. It's gonna be a huge loss. He averaging like 20 points per game. Real quick, I do want to take a look at the Rockets. So they have Jabari Smith Jr. Jalen Green is hurt. He's out for the season. They got Trey Young too. That's crazy. They still got Cam Whitmore. They got Kobe Jones. So they just have a young team that's being led by Jabari Smith Jr. and Jalen Green, and then they also have Trey Young. But Jalen Green is out, so that might be to our advantage. But they're up 2-1. They're up 3-1 right now, so that's tough. It's tough, and we stay alive. We force a game 7, so we're gonna simulate with Simcast. This is a huge game right here. Game 7 on the road against the defending champs. Obviously, they're playing without Jalen Green, but so far throughout the first quarter, up double digits. This is a huge game because this can result in the first appearance in a conference finals for Victor Wembanyama, who's been fiending for this, right? They're killing them. They're killing them throughout the first half and the third quarter. They're smoking them, and it's looking like Victor Wembanyama is going to get his first conference finals appearance. You know, it was long overdue after 8 years. First conference finals appearance. Can this lead to him going all the way to the finals and winning a championship? We'll have to wait and see, but they're going to go ahead and knock out Houston Rockets in fashion. Let's take a look at his numbers. I just want to see his numbers in that game 7. Let's see what it was in game 7. He had 21, 15, and 7 and 2 blocks and pretty efficient from the field. That's what I like to see, man. Scoot Henderson with a triple-double. Crazy. But the big three, they showed out. And seems to be a very well-constructed big three. Golden State did their thing constructing this one because they took him away from me when I was, managing the Spurs. So that's not even me. I got to give all credit to the CPU. Now let's take a look at the Minnesota roster. They got Dyson Daniels. They got Jaden Ivey, Jalen Brunson, Miles Turner. They got a decent squad, but no Anthony Edwards, no Cat. They seem to parted ways and be somewhere else. Jaden Ivey, ex-teammate of Victor Wembanyama in San Antonio. They'll be facing off in the conference finals. It's going to be a good one, man. Let's see what happens. Game 1 goes to Golden State on the road. Game 2 goes to Golden State on the road. Game 3, Golden State goes ahead, goes up 3-0, and Dalen Childress is back. It's a sweep. Scoot Henderson is your finals MVP. We're going to go ahead and match up against the Detroit Pistons. Victor Wembanyama gets his first finals appearance after making to his first conference finals. We're going to go ahead and sim game 1. Game 1 goes to the Pistons. Game 2 goes to the Golden State Warriors. Game 3 goes to the Pistons. Oh my God, Jaden McDaniels out for the season. That is crazy. Left hand fracture is crazy too. It's crazy that he got that. Cause if y'all know what he got in the regular season this year, but that's crazy. But they tied the series. All right, game 5, we go up 3-2. Game 6 at home for Victor's first ring in his first finals championship appearance. He gets it. The Golden State Warriors have won the championship. Victor Wembanyama has finally captured that championship that he's been desiring since he was in San Antonio. He made a tough decision of coming here to team up with Scoot Henderson and Jaren Jackson Jr., and it has finally paid off after 3 seasons. seasons. They win their first championship. That's tough. That's fire. School Henderson is your finals MVP. But nonetheless, Victor Wembanyama is an NBA champion after 8 seasons. And that's what they kind of say, right? You know, players, the all-time greats, they've kind of won their first championship around the 7th, 8th season of their career. So we're going to go ahead and end off the video right here. I just want to go ahead and show you guys his resume through 8 years as a professional NBA athlete. He's an NBA champion, has 1 champion, 1 ring, 5-time All-Star. I think he would have been a 6-time All-Star, but he spent a lot of time out in his 8th season. Didn't come back towards like the end of the season. He has 3 appearances in the second team All-NBA, a 3-time DPOY, and 5 appearances in the All-Defensive First Team. So it's a Hall of Famer. This resume right here is a Hall of Fame resume, and this is only 8 years in. I would keep on going, but I don't want this video to be too long. I was hoping that he would have more success early in his career, just given all the hype and stuff, but this is as expected, and he did have a lot of success. 3 DPOYs, and you're only 8 years into your career. I ain't gonna lie, this is a good career. It's a good career for Victor Wembanyama, but I think he'll have a career somewhat like this. I don't know if he'll leave San Antonio so early. I don't know if he'll ever leave San Antonio. I think he might play with San Antonio for the rest of his career. He hasn't even started, but for the entirety of his career, I think Victor's gonna be in the same boat, similar like this, where he's gonna be better defensively than he will be. I think he'll still average like 20 plus, especially with San Antonio, but I don't think it's gonna be crazy. I don't think he's gonna be averaging 30 and stuff like that. But the DPOYs, he'll definitely have multiple DPOYs for sure, and I think he'll win a championship down the line if he teams up with the right players, or if the San Antonio Spurs, you know, construct a well roster around him. So I'm looking forward to seeing his career pan out, seeing how that goes. But that's it for this one though. So comment down below, let me know how y'all felt about it. Let me know if it was everything y'all expected. Let me know what else you think he'll do beyond 8 years, and how long you think his career is going to last. But as always, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. That helps us out tremendously with the success of the channel and bringing better content to you all, right? Thank you guys for everything. We appreciate y'all as always. Love.